Hello, good people. Thanks for joining me again. And if you're new to my channel, my name is Anne, and on my channel, I review foreign shows. Like I always say, we travel around the world, exploring, consuming foreign content. And in the process, we're learning so much, right? Language, culture, food, which is my favorite, I love. And last week we were in India, and today we're back in Africa. Shout out to Africa. And today we're in West Africa, in Nigeria, Nollywood. We know how we love our Nollywood. But today I'm coming to you with this is a very serious topic that they explored in this movie, which I thought was very well done. And if foreign shows is something you're getting into or you love, then you are in the right place. Please do go ahead and subscribe, turn that notification button on so that the next time I'm reviewing another foreign show, you will be notified. So like I said, today we are in Nigeria, and we are going to be reviewing, it's called OLOTURE, and I'm not sure if that's how you say that. My Nigerian friends, maybe you can help us learn how to say it the right way. But from the way they were on the show, it says it's called Endurance. And really off the bat, this show explores the idea of human trafficking. And I was gonna show the statistics of what they say as far as how many people get human trafficked from Africa. Now we know this happens all over the world. Let's just not say it's a third world country thing or it's an African thing. This is happening all over the world, even here in the United States, which is a huge issue. And I really applaud them for talking about this issue. But I wanted to show you stats of what they say of how many human beings are trafficked from Africa. Let's take a look at that. So it says human trafficking is modern day slavery, right? Slavery is happening, people, just a different kind of way, which is really sad, right? Because we all know the horrors of slavery from before, but this is happening in a different kind of a way. And it says the industry is worth $150 billion, people. $150 billion, okay? 99 billion alone is generated from sexual exploitation. So human beings are being trafficked. Obviously, more women trafficked for sexual exploitation from different countries. And it says the route between North, East, and West Africa generates about 150 million in annual profits. I mean, let that just sink in a little bit, right? Like, wow. Anyway, let's just get to the movie. Like I said, obviously this explores the Nigerian part of it, but this is happening all over the world, African countries, not just Nigeria. Here in America, Europe, this happens. And clearly, we all need to be more aware, and clearly something has to change. But the movie is told of a journalist who decides to join the world of prostitution, brothel. She goes in a way to do research. So really she has to play or actually be a prostitute so she can do the research to see how this human trafficking happens. And obviously, the office where she works for, they're obviously worried for her. The actress who is playing the journalist who goes in is Sharon Oja, who I thought did an excellent job. She really portrayed the idea of she's trying to do her job as a journalist, at the same time the fears, of being put in that vulnerable situation, especially for her because it wasn't her choice. She's there to do a job, and how, she has to dress and act like a prostitute. And you know, when she's chosen by men, many times she's able to get herself out of the situation by, you know, one time she had to jump outside a window. That was scary. She almost broke her arm. Another situation, which really, as the show progresses, you see she can only do so much of that before things just go south, if you will, right? So she is invited, actually, she is brought to this politician's house by this pimp. Unfortunately, what's worse is that the pimp in this story is another woman, right? Where it also goes to explore that idea of, you know, as one woman to another woman, you'd think would protect each other. But in a way, I think the lady who's playing the pimp lady, her name is being played by Omoni Oboli. We obviously get the feeling that she also used to be a prostitute, and her idea is also trying to make more money. You know, I think when you've been hurt, maybe, and maybe you've lost, let's say you've lost your soul, it's I can see how after a while you're like, I don't care that she's a woman like me and I should be watching out for her. I don't care. And you know, in that scene where Sharon's Oja's character goes to see that politician who's very rich, that's the other thing they explore. It's the rich politicians. Corruption is what really makes sexual trafficking happen, really. Okay, so don't say it's about the little people who are poor and they're trying to expose themselves by being, you know, a prostitute on the street. We get it. It's poverty that sometimes drives people to do that, to sell your body, which is like the worst thing anybody can ever do. That being said, there's also very many rich, influential people who are also making it a problem worse and worse and worse instead of improving it, right? We appoint them to hopefully help us, but in the process, they make it worse. So we see in that section where Sharon goes, you know, she's taken by her pimp to go see this politician. And I don't know about y'all, but when you see that scene, especially for my American friends, it will make you think of Bill Cosby. And I hate to say it, but that's how the politicians would do. Obviously, she didn't want to engage. And then she pretends she's not feeling well. And he says, oh, I have something for your stomach. Here's a little pill for your stomach. He gives her a pill where she's thinking, oh, it's for my upset stomach. But it was a drug that made her sleepy. And obviously, when she's asleep, he takes advantage of her and rapes her, okay? Does that sound like Bill Cosby and his Quaaludes? That's how it happens, people. So be very, very, very careful. Don't take anything, any drugs from anybody. You never know. They're trying to take advantage of you. So anyway, she, you know, as she is working as a prostitute, she's obviously collecting a lot of evidence and reporting it to her worker, I think co-worker, who's being played by Blossom Chukwujeku. I may not be saying that correctly. And then obviously he's worried for her because he's like, you know what, I think you're way in too deep. You need to get out. Just get out, okay? But we all know once Sharon is raped, there's a sense of where she's like, I want revenge. So she wants to continue. So what has happened is Omni Oboli's character has told some of the girls that she works with that she is able to get them to, if they pay her $1,200, she's able to help them to get out of Nigeria for a better life in Europe. But, you know, these girls, let me just say, these girls, even when they're brought to Europe, they're still being used as prostitutes. They're really being sexually trafficked to another country. Now, obviously, the incentive for Omni, the pimp, is that she'll be paid better when they're working in Europe, because now they're paying in pounds, in dollars, whatever it is, and obviously that becomes a lot of money in Nigeria. But really an excellent excellent show. You have to keep watching. It's definitely not our fuzzy, funny show. It is reality, right? Like this is happening right now as we speak. There was a section where they show, you know, how corruption really makes it worse, right? So she's convinced all these girls, I think there's 15 of them, and the plan is for them to go to Europe. But they have to cross borders to, I guess, to go to the next country, and then that's how maybe they get to Europe. That's the other thing too. I heard people are not happy about how the show ends, but to me, the way it ended, it's realistic because it's true life. Like I think we're all hoping like, oh my gosh, I hope it's gonna end well. I don't want to spoil because I want you to watch it, but I think when you think about it, you're like, okay, I mean, that would be real life, you know, not everything may turn out like we expect, but that's real, that's reality, right? So I was going to mention here, you know, it shows the border. I was gonna say it goes to show how corruption makes things worse. So they're coming to cross the border, and clearly the immigration officer is used to this. They're used to being bribed, given money to allow them to cross. And by the way, the other thing that was very interesting is that they're all given fake passports with different names. One, you know, the girl is given, I think, Sharon Oja's passport was the name of a Kenyan person with a Kenyan passport. I was just like, wow. And then her friend, I believe her friend was being played by Beverly Osu. She was supposed to be South African. I guess that's how they do it. They have to like change identity completely, different names, even act like you're not from Nigeria. But what was sad to watch, especially here at the border, was the immigration person being bribed. Used to be, and you could tell the way he went and said hello to him, hi Olga, you know, and he's like, oh hey, you're back again, because he knows when he sees this guy, he's gonna get bribed, and then he always allow them to go. But it just showed like if he had done the right thing. I mean, in this bus was like 15 girls in there. If he had been like, no, okay, your papers don't look right, where are you going, who are these girls? I mean, just go in the bus and just look, you know, like the right thing, like in immigration, if you are crossing borders. For example, when we cross to go to Canada over here and you're in a car, the immigration officer has to come and look in the car. You're in an RV, for example, or in a bus, they do look. They want to see who's in there. They want to see your picture, and they want to see that, oh yeah, that's who that looks like. This guy didn't even look in the bus, didn't even care. He just wanted his money. I don't even think he looked at the passports the way it showed, and they just let the bus cross. But if he had done the right thing, can you imagine? Those were 15 souls he would have saved, you know. And obviously, maybe, I'm not sure if there'll be a sequel. I mean, this is kind of a hard topic. I can't see it being a sequel just because what are you gonna show us more? The suffering. Like, they really, by the way, when you watch this, first of all, it's for mature audience. There's nudity. There's obviously acts of sexual violence that they show. I mean, they do it tastefully, you know, with art. However, there is some nudity there. But it's just a very difficult subject to address. However, reality and very real. And I hope that, you know, as a world, as a whole, we could come and really end this for once and, you know, for good. I believe the world, the United Nations is aware of this as a big issue. And the one thing I was gonna say though, it would have been nice to kind of maybe for the director, producers to kind of maybe leave the audience with what can we do, right? Like, I'm glad they educated us on this is a big issue. They gave us the stats of how many millions and how much money is made, and the stats of how many people are being trafficked. But then when you finish watching, you're like, as a regular person, how can I, you know, what can I do, right? Obviously in countries that are like third world countries, you know, the biggest thing you can see is corruption makes it so much easier to just smuggle them, right? You know, in countries that are westernized like United States or, you know, Europe, like we need to take stands to like no more human trafficking. Like it needs to stop. Like there need to be more investigation and cracking down of this, you know, trafficking and putting people in slavery in 2020. I mean, it's against the law to have slavery anymore. So I thought it was very informative, obviously a very difficult subject to discuss, but reality, I thought the production, the acting was excellent. It was very realistic. The production was very good. The directing, it flowed very well. Like, you know, you can tell they really, every shot really connected very well. We never got lost anywhere. They really came through with the hardcore world of a brothel, this, you know, the life of a sex worker, you know. It was crude and sad, and, you know, there was even a point where they showed there was this other pimp, you know, who owns these girls on the street, where he is violent, you know, he beats them up. I mean, it was tough to watch. But one thing is very clear is that it needs to stop. You know, this is 2020. We know better. It just, you know, we've as human beings of the world, this is something that needs to stop. And even I think as a common person, like there's a spot where they showed where a girl is being beat up in broad daylight in Nigeria, and nobody's like, why is that girl being beat up? Like somebody should help her, you know, because Sharon's character tried to run away, and this guy runs after her, grabs her, beats her up, and throws her over his shoulder. And you'd think somebody would be like, hey, what are you doing? Like, you can't do that. Nobody cared. They were just like, everybody going on with their business, like nothing is going on. You know, if somebody had said, hey, what are you doing? Maybe that could have stopped him, and then maybe saved her, right, from being grabbed back again when she's trying to escape. So all in all, a very excellent production, well done. On the other hand, a very difficult topic. I would say I think we all need to educate ourselves more about this and find out how we can do our little part, because it takes little to make a change. But excellent job, Nollywood. You really have upped your stance in the film world. You are really like trying to stay toe to toe with Hollywood. Good for you. Keep up the good work. But yeah, just a really excellent show. I recommend you watch it. It's on Netflix. That's where I watched it. But once again, thank you so much for joining me. Please join me again and see where we're gonna stop as we travel around the world consuming foreign content. Please go ahead, subscribe, turn that notification button on, give me a like if you like the video, and I'll see you again when I review another excellent foreign show. Deuces.